Who does the Biden presidency remind you of so far? What figure from our past comes to mind? Everyone's already saying it. That's right. I wish I could say it was, the guy that had a special fondness for interns and was just always trying to hold the ladies of America close, hold them real close, maybe give a little squeeze just to know that they feel like he's there, like he's squeezing their hand. Obviously, that's what good old Bill Clinton would want. That's the only thing he'd squeeze. No, not him. Jimmy Carter, friends. That's who people are already thinking about with Joe Biden. Another guy who seemed like he was way in over his head, not up for the job, and was able to create some of the things we're already seeing now. A sputtering economy, concerns about unemployment, kicking off inflation, gas lines. Our enemies thinking that we don't actually know how to deal with them at home or abroad, right? There are so many things you look at with Carter and Biden. And I know people are already taking it to that next step of maybe, just maybe, there's a Republican who will come in after this as our second coming of Reagan. But for now, I just want to say that what we are seeing, to me, from the Biden administration, makes us ask the question, is this guy actually Captain Obvious? Is this a guy, Joe Biden, who seems to not know what all the rest of us know, and then when he comes to the clear and obvious conclusion, wants a pat on the head? Okay, it turns out that when you are just talking about raising taxes and spewing a lot of Marxist claptrap, hiring doesn't go as well as people who are focused on only that in the economy think it will. Right? You had a couple of 100,000 jobs added in April instead of the million jobs that Dow Jones was expecting. It was at least 500,000 below most of the projections that I saw. An enormous jobs miss. Why would that happen? Well, because it turns out that when you just talk about raising taxes and spending trillions and trillions of dollars, different companies, different businesses say, how's that going to affect me? What's going to happen here? Maybe I'm going to ride this thing out a little bit before I make any major decisions. I'll give you another example of the Captain Obvious administration here. It seems that Biden is just figuring out now that people won't work if you are paying them, won't work if you're paying them more than they would make from working. Biden is still pretending that this is not the case, but it's pretty obvious. Using that word again, play 14.
I know there's been a lot of discussion since Friday's report, that people are being paid to stay home rather than go to work. Well, we don't see much evidence of that. That is a major factor. We don't see that. Look, it's easy to say the line has been because of the generous unemployment benefits that it's a major factor in labor shortages. Americans want to work. Americans want to work.
Just talking points. That's where this guy always falls into. He's an idiot, folks. He's not a smart man. I know that he's the president of the United States and the Democrats have created this whole fiction around him for... Why are we supposed to be impressed by this guy again? Because he was Obama's vice president? Oh, okay. That's really a game changer. This is not somebody who understands macro or microeconomics, not somebody who's ever run a business. This is a guy who has been delivering speeches written by other people and spewing whatever is most popular in the moment as a Democrat for longer than I've been alive. That's what this guy is doing. That's all he knows how to do. He's essentially a talking points machine that goes wherever the polls, wherever the puppeteers around him tell him to go. That's what Joe Biden does. He's not a leader. He's not a thinker. Now he's the president. It's a remarkable state of affairs. Why wouldn't people stay home if they are receiving more pay from the government for doing nothing? And who's to say they're doing nothing? Maybe they've got a side hustle going. Maybe they're, doing some work, under the table, or they're building out their dream job or their dream business or whatever. Who knows? But for a lot of folks who aren't making a ton of money by showing up, doing hourly shift work at fast food restaurants or any number of places, for a lot of folks, it's a pretty clear calculation. And it should be clear to anybody. It should be obvious. Word of the day. What happens when you spend trillions of dollars? What happens when you spend trillions of dollars? You know, if you were in an economics 101 class, you'd have people who were saying, well, you are debasing your currency. You're debasing your currency. We are led to believe somehow that's not happening. Meanwhile, lumber cost for home building is up, 300%, 400%, something like that. Way, way up. Looks like the stock market right now, which was very high coming into this administration, might have stalled out. And the Wall Street Journal has a piece from earlier today. If inflation is coming, here's what to do about it. Remember, once inflation hits and everybody sees it, too late to really make it go away. You're going to suffer the consequences of it. But I think we're already seeing it. It's just the government and the people in charge of the levers at the Fed are hiding this. Food prices going up. Home building prices going up. Lumber, as I already told you. There are a number of things where it's hard to hide what's really going on here. And then there's just the overall trajectory of the economy. All Joe Biden had to do, all the Democrats had to do this year for us to have a booming economy was stay the heck out of the way. That's all they had to do. Just get out of the way. And by get out of the way, I mean also stop all the neuroses and all the craziness with continued lockdowns and your mask obsession and all this stuff. Just let businesses go do their business and let the American people come back to their lives and their work. But no, Democrats want to meddle. They want to control. They want to dictate, and they want to spend. So there are these intersecting levels of obviousness that we are seeing right now. And yes, we have gas lines, we have inflation fears, we have a stalled economic recovery, we have a Biden administration that is not a surprise to any of us who were paying attention and have been paying attention to what the Democrat Party has become and also what Joe Biden was saying during the campaign. And yes, the recovery is stumbling. Why is that happening? Because of Joe Biden's policies. This couldn't be any easier. You have an economy that is going through an artificial government-mandated recession because of COVID and made it worse with the lockdowns than it would have otherwise been. Yes, there would have been some restriction on economic activity from people who were scared and not going out as much, but a lot of this was a function of government policy, and it was arbitrary, as we know, and it was dumb in so many cases. Florida did not shut down. Its economy is better off, has been better off than states like California, New York, Texas. You've sort of come to the party a little late with Florida, but you're doing better than obviously other states are. But all you have to do, if you're this administration, is stop messing things up. But no, they think they're helping. This is the classic trap of the authoritarian Democrat mindset. They believe they're making things better, when all the indicators we can see are that dumbass Democrats with Biden leading the pack are making everything worse. They are making it worse. They are extending and prolonging the pain of lockdowns. They are making people concerned about the value of the dollar and about what taxes, and not just corporate taxes, but all kinds of different changes to the IRS code are going to do to our economy. This is what we face now. We can all see it. And it was all obvious from the beginning to anybody who pays attention, who knows history, and believes that 1 + 1 = 2. Turns out that shutting down infrastructure projects like the Keystone XL pipeline for ideological reasons is a really short-sighted and stupid thing to do. Turns out that spending trillions of dollars sounds great to the people that are going to get all kinds of goodies from it, but to the overall economy, it's a disaster. When you pay people more to stay home than to work, guess what they do? I mean, does any of this surprise? Oh, when you defund police, turns out you get a lot more violence on the streets. Gee, who could have seen that coming? Oh, that's right, absolutely everybody. This stuff is obvious to anyone who is not delusional, but the Democrats are the party of delusion.
Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.